All right, it's your main man Mizix coming at you with another one. And I know it has been a while since I posted. I've been busy at work. There also hasn't been a lot that I really wanted to talk about, so I just haven't made any videos. But I'm back. Work is kind of chilled out, so let's get into this. I found this new subreddit that I really like, and I think I can make a couple videos on. It's called r/advice, and basically this guy on here, he got a useless college degree. Maybe not useless, but he's got a college degree that's kind of put him at a disadvantage in life. And I just want to give my 2 cents on the situation. And if I could help anyone, stop anyone from making a critical decision like this, I would be extremely happy if this video did even help just one person. But if just people are here to get my 2 cents, then hey, that's cool too. I appreciate you stopping by. So anyway, let's jump right into it. I'm 25 with a communication degree. WTF do I do with my life? What job fields provide paid training? Also, is it too late for me to try and be a scientist of some kind? Hi, I have a BA in public relations and advertising. I've been looking for work in those fields, but have been getting absolutely nowhere since I didn't get any relevant internships in college since graduating in 2018. I've had odd jobs at restaurants, temping, customer service, dog walking, and security. Businesses are hiring like crazy right now, which is great, but I have absolutely no clue which way to turn. I like to learn a trade or something, but I'm not sure where I can apply where I'll get extensive and paid training. One thing I'm against doing is police work. I also used to enjoy my science classes, at least in primary and secondary school, so obviously I'm far removed and behind other job seekers in that field, but on the off chance that someone browsing this sub is in science, do you think there's any chance? Alright, so a little bit to unpack here. So first things first, so he says communication degree in the title, and then he says he has a bachelor in relations and public relations and advertising. So the first thing, I looked it up, and at least in my state, those are two. So not just in my state, but those are two different. So communications is like kind of like a more general term for a degree, whereas public relations and advertising is a specific degree. And if you get that specific degree, job outlook is not very well. So I will tell you what. So even nationwide, it's like 43,000. But in my state, the average is 37,000, which I never went to college. I never got a degree. I just, I got a job 2 months after high school, and I've had the same job ever since. I'm 23 now, and I make like 60,000. So obviously that is not very good, and that's assuming he got a job, and that's the average. So when you start out, you're not going to be making even the average. I don't know where this guy works or lives. That kind of has a lot of impact on it too. But I just want to point out public relations, because I looked up communications, and communications was almost doubled. Communications is like 65,000, at least where I live. And I'm like, man, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't see what the issue is here, maybe he just didn't like it. But I guess he's having a hard time getting a job, or a job that he likes at least, because it's kind of competitive if you don't get a good degree coming right out of college. If you don't have the experience, obviously you need experience to get put to work, especially, the cost of labor is rising. So if it costs a company more to get you, they need more out of you. And if you've never done it before, then, they're putting money into you for probably like 6 months and not just getting nothing out of you, they're losing on you, because they got to take, someone else has to train you, spend their time teaching you what they do, and then you can put your background knowledge on it. So this guy is falling for the old useless college degree trap. I got a few hints of that, right? So, number one, obviously, communication degree, kind of a big red flag. And that's not a knock on communications degree. That's the degree my mom got. So I can tell you from firsthand, not really worth a whole lot, right? So, next thing he says, one thing I'm against is police work. So that kind of leads me to believe he kind of hangs out in like liberal circles, maybe, because it's not like he's just against doing like physical work. In fact, he goes on in the comments to say that he enjoys physical works. He wants to get into like the trades and be a little bit more active, if possible. So I know it's not just like the physical thing. The police work is, I'm guessing, a political thing. So he's probably on the left. All of his friends just went to college or whatever, and he, just wherever he was, it was just the thing to do wherever he was. I'm not knocking him or anything. I'm just saying, where he grew up, after high school, you go to college. It's that simple. It was that way where I was, when I graduated college, I was like, there was like 200 people who graduated, and I believe it was like more than 70% of them were going to college afterwards. So that me not going to college, I was the first one in my family to not go to college right after high school. So, I feel like I had a good eye on this, even, coming right out of high school at 18. So, he's got his head in the right space, kind of, he wants to, I think the key is get a trade. So I looked up the average debt. So the average debt in my state is also like 35,000. So that's like a whole year of just working at like this below average job that he would get. So basically, he went to college. He's probably told something, did not do his research, just went along with the program, and now he's in debt, can't get a good job. So this is a lot of people are in this situation right now, and I think he's got the right idea. He needs to go into the trades. Obviously, he's not going to be getting paid a lot when you first start off in the trades. You're in an internship. I'm guessing he doesn't want to join the military, but that might be a good option for him at this point, honestly. Not to knock them, because a lot of people who want a government job or like a military job, they'll get an easy degree like communications or public relations and advertising relative to something else that is very easy. You can go to law school or something, or if you're trying to put a package together to like become an officer in the military, the GPA is very important, and when you get a high one, it looks very good on you, because people with average degrees, you're basically on the same playing field. The only way you get like a break is if you go into the STEMs and you get like a really hard degree. If you get like a 3.0 in engineering, obviously that's way better than getting like a 3.5 in communications. It's just because those skills are a lot more useful. So that's something you have to keep in mind when you go to college, is that you're going there, it's supposed to be an investment. If you have to worry about making money afterwards, then you're going there as an investment. You're not just going there to hang out. If your parents are just loaded and you're going to pay cash, then yeah, show up and hang out, get a communications degree, it's whatever. But you're supposed to be going there to learn something to make money afterwards. So you should have picked something other than public relations and advertising, because obviously that was not a very good choice. I mean, you're going to spend, I don't know how much he spent, right? I'm assuming he spent a lot. Maybe he doesn't have any debt. Maybe he took out a bunch of debt. I don't know, right? He didn't have any of that information on there. So that's the thing you have to do, is if you're going to spend $30,000 getting something as an investment, you at least need to look at how is that going to pay off, right? If I'm going to buy like a piece of property for $30,000, I'm going to say I'm buying like, you can't buy a house for $30,000, but maybe I'm buying like a lot to put a bunch of trailers on for $30,000. Then obviously, if I'm going to buy a lot for $30,000 to put a bunch of trailers on to rent it out, make a trailer park or something, I would look at the rent in the area to get a relative idea as to what I'm going to get back. And if that is going to be like nothing, then that's stupid, right? So you have to work, and most jobs nowadays, at least after you get a few years of experience, are paying more than $37,000. And it's just that easy, You should have taken 10 minutes out of your day, do a Google search, and say, look, this ain't going to cut it for me. And I'm not saying that you have to become a scientist or an engineer or a doctor or lawyer or something, right? But, becoming an engineer or, depending on the type of scientist, it doesn't cost you anything extra, and obviously you'd get a lot more in income, right? There's just some things you don't do when you need to make money afterwards. And one of them is to go to college and not get a STEM degree, or not go with the plan of going to like medical school or law school afterwards. If his plan was to show up, get a communications degree, and, knock it out of the park with his GPA because he's taking all these cake classes, and then go to law school, that's a solid plan, good plan, good on you. He has a plan for what he's going to do. Because I know a lot of people in law school, they'll take an easy degree like this so that they can get a 4.0, throw it on their package, and, get into a really good law school. Because becoming a doctor or a lawyer, those are pretty much the only two professions where you went to school matters. Everywhere else doesn't really matter, you know? Obviously, if you go to Harvard and you just get like some rando degree, people know that you're smart. So that's also another thing to add. The government, you're not allowed to give out IQ tests for your employees, which I think if employers were just allowed to give out tests, say, hey, I want to see if you're smart or not, right? We could just cut out a lot of this. And I think that's just that simple. Obviously, I'm not saying if you don't go to college and go to get a STEM degree, then you're an idiot. I'm not saying that. But you're obviously taking a risk, and those degrees don't cost anymore. Or if they do, it's like very marginal. Maybe you have to provide like some lab supplies, which is like a few $100s, a couple times a semester, which in the grand scheme of all this is like nothing as far as cost goes. So I'm not saying that. So you're taking a risk, right? And the payoff needs to be substantially higher than the risk. Because you could get stuck in a situation like this where you're not in the industry for a couple of years and now your degree is useless, which is exactly what happened to this guy. So if I was this guy, I think he's got his head in the right space. What he needs to do is go learn a skill, like become an electrician or something. Because he says he's interested in science, obviously. Maybe that includes electronics. I don't know if he took any electronics classes. I enjoy electronics a lot, but maybe he's not into Ohm's law. Maybe he's more into like, I don't know, mechanical sciences or whatever. But I'll leave a link to the thread in the description. It's only 3 hours old as I'm making this video, so maybe more people will come along and give their 2 cents. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just remember, the basic underlying thesis of this video is if you're going to pay for something, it is going to have to pay off. It's that simple. And obviously this guy's probably going to be, I'm sure in a few years' time, if his course doesn't change and he's still working all these temp jobs, he's probably going to be one of these people who are knocking down the door of the government demanding that he get his money back. Which obviously I didn't, I don't know why you should have to pawn all that off on the taxpayers. I didn't go to college, and I'm doing just fine, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.